doing what he has done throughout his life of service, putting the American people and our country above everything else. From there, she goes on to announce her intention to earn and win this nomination. She adds to that, saying, over the past year, I have traveled across the country talking with Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election. She says, and that is what I will continue to do in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything, she says, in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump. She adds, we have 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight, and together we will win. Very clear message from Kamala Harris that she is in this race and in it to win, Rachel.
Our Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce tracking very
All right, that is Ghostman Mercury. Hell yeah. Welcome back to the Real News Underground, folks. It's really happening. Look at this. I got my soundboard. Oh, it's a real show. Got water. Oh my God, I need water. How about them Mets? How about them Bears? Them Bears. Yeah, Bears. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? Yeah, Bears. Trump is so old that if he were king, this would never have happened. The signing of the Declaration of Independence. No, I mean honestly, no. I mean he's, and you know, he's not this. He's very good at what he does, Trump, but he's not like a brand new concept. It's not like he's dropped out of a UFO. The founding fathers were well aware of carnival barkers like Trump, and they were trying to warn us. They've run into this before. Okay, real quick, let's take one last look at any YouTube live streams to see if maybe we can get Kamala Harris speaking, and then we're going to switch over to some world news, because what else is there to talk about right now? It's just a bunch of speculation. There's really no, is there anything else to talk about? Can someone in the chat point out any other kind of angles we're missing right now? Because it's really, like I said, there's there's no time for the progressives to mount any kind of Democratic challenge to this. There just isn't. They've already coalesced around Biden, so it makes perfect sense that they would just jump ship and coalesce around Kamala Harris. We have days. We have days, just a couple months, but, basically days. We should be acting as if we have like a couple weeks left. That should be the mentality of the momentum of the campaign. So we have the progressives. They just have to look. It sucks, but the progressives got to get the fuck out of the way. I believe it should be Pete Buttigieg. I'm sure there's a lot of people with a lot of disagreements on who should be VP, and maybe even some disagreements on who should be president. If I had my choice, booty gig. If I had my choice, if I was the decision maker, it would be Bernie Sanders and AOC. Maybe it'd be Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders, or Kamala Harris and AOC, right? Because I couldn't you just can't forget about Kamala Harris. You can't do that to the black community. That's really not cool. It's just not fucking cool. Like, it'll look bad. People, and the bad actors will double down on that. The bad actors will make sure that looks bad. So yeah, maybe Kamala Harris and AOC, if that was my choice, right? I would do something really transformative and crazy. But is there anything else to talk about, with this story? I know all the other streamers are going to be 24/7 milking the fuck out of this, and the corporate news is going to be milking the fuck out of this, but they might as well just be repeating the same things over and over and over again. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? What's going to happen? And really what I want, like I said, is that Kamala Harris speech. That's what I want to see, is that Kamala Harris speech. And I don't think we're going to get that. Ooh. I need it. Water. Super cold and fresh. Just what I needed. Wow, just a lot of these live streams are just like talking about Trump and stuff. This is just kind of embarrassing. All right, let's see what's going on here. Times now.
Harris is going to face Donald Trump in November. Harris finds herself in something of an unusual position.
Okay, AP.
She was Joe Biden's vice president, and now, after much debate and drama, she's the Democrats' presidential candidate. Her background is unique, particularly because
boy, that would really be Manchin's king asshole move if he pulled something like that.
To have turnout in November.
We beat Donald Trump once, and we're gonna beat him again.
Not only is she a woman, but she's a woman of color with both South Asian and black heritage. Those groups, women and non-white voters, have been key Democratic coalitions. And this will be a test of her ability to turn them out. We've seen as the campaign got closer that the former California senator and California state attorney general has focused on issues like abortion, on issues like voting rights, appealing specifically to those blocs. That's something of a difference from the start of her time in the Biden administration, when she was more focused on countries in Central America regarding immigration and kind of going out as a general surrogate for the president. Now, she needs to show that she can take those issues and build on them more and more on issues involving the economy, national security, and climate change. What Democrats say they want is a fighter. And in Harris, they have someone who's had many stare downs in Senate committee hearings and in courtrooms.
Yeah.
But now that stare down is going to be against Trump.
Yeah. Okay,
Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic presidential nominee.
Man, AP out front with this. It's kind of propagandistic, though, isn't it? This feels very pro-DNC. Is that just me?
Performance against Donald Trump. He showed his full 81 years. He
Biden drops
stammered. He
acid.
struggled to answer. He struggled to fight for himself,
Woke
let
patriot.
alone the
You're kinda
American
right.
people who he says he's.
From the liberal angle, you're totally right. This is the first interesting thing to happen. Well, look at that. I mean, I'm okay. That's not fair to make fun of haircuts.
The second major factor in this was the Democrats' own anxiety about beating Trump. They see a second Trump presidency as a danger to democracy, a possible end of the constitutional republic.
You know,
they look.
I've been criticizing these people for fundraising off, saying that this is going to be really bad, but their actions haven't really reflected that. This does reflect that, even though, like I said, I do believe the motivations are really more related to the knee-jerk reactions of their donors. I'm not sure if this is them. Like I said, because I do believe some of these corporate neoliberal Democrats would rather have a Trump fascist presidency than change towards the left and move towards the left. So I don't know. You know, the motivations like
is unique, particularly because Harris exemplifies two
sure
key
not all of them
coalitions
agree.
that Democrats need to have turnout in November.
We beat Donald Trump once, and we're gonna beat him again.
Not only is she a woman, but she's a woman of color with both South Asian and black heritage. Those groups, women.
Right, this is just on loop. Look, I mean, I'm gonna keep watching this. I'm gonna keep checking back, because you know, like I said, it'd be a huge drop ball if Kamala Harris doesn't do a speech, right? Am I crazy, or is that expecting too much? Is Kamala Harris is she too busy taking nappies? Is she at the Denny's slapping hands with voters? Like what's the excuse? Like she should get in front of a microphone, right? Am I crazy?
On his social media account announcing that to the entire world. So it was very closely held. Now we know that he did have a conversation with Vice President Harris ahead of the announcement, where obviously they spoke about this. And now, as you just alluded to in that statement from the Vice President, it is clear that this larger question about how this works next is the major one. And even if President Biden has fully endorsed his Vice President to be the Democratic nominee, we're seeing some signals from key Democratic leadership, from former President Obama, that there needs to be a moment here where things don't get rushed necessarily, because they want to be sure that this process also appears democratic. They want to make sure that if there were someone to come out and say, I would like to challenge Vice President Harris for this nomination, that process could play out. And we should point out, according to somebody familiar with former President Obama's thinking, that they're going back to how this all played out in 2020, when there was an open primary and when Joe Biden was still going through that process, even if it seemed clear that former President Obama would back Joe Biden. He waited until, at the time, Senator Bernie Sanders formally ended his candidacy, and it was clear that Joe Biden would be the presumptive nominee, and there was nobody else in the conversation before fully backing him and saying that he would do everything he could to ensure his victory in 2020, as he did.
Yada, yada, yada. Okay, look, like I said, we're gonna get back to this. Someone tell me if someone's watching or has an RSS feed or has Twitter on their 15th screen. If they could please just let me know if Kamala Harris is doing a speech. I'd like to cut to that. But until then, I'd like to cover a little bit of Ukraine news here. I hope you don't mind. I have some absolutely fantastic footage that I need to get to, including that film at the end there, a part that I'm going to have to censor out, unfortunately. But I'll definitely make sure I give you the link there. I think she did. At least I saw someone showing an interview of hers. Yeah, they're showing the right wing at least is going bananas, showing all of her embarrassing interviews. But no, I don't think she's gotten in front of the microphone to do a speech yet. And really, what she needs to do is a presidential speech. She needs to do a my fellow American speech. You know what I mean? She needs to go hard on that. Super hard on that, right? Am I wrong? I'm just please tell me if you think I'm wrong. Please tell me if you disagree. I won't ban you, I promise. People are like on pins and needles. I don't want to piss them off. Come on, y'all. It's like, honestly, as long as you're an honest actor, as long as you're coming at me with facts, it's all good. It's the people that are clowning around that think this is like a comedy show, that think this is, and they got nothing of substance. You know what I mean? They're not adding anything. Those are the people that get the boot. Dmitry Medvedev called for the total execution of hold on one second here. Here we go. I know the title still says Biden drops out, so I should probably just change that over as well real quick. Hold on. There we go. Get that. Look, mommy, I'm a real streamer. I changed my title and everything. Dmitry Medvedev called for the total execution of Ukrainian soldiers following a video published by the 12th Operational Brigade Azov. He stated, quote, "Do not pity them, not anyone. Have them shown mercy to anyone?" Quote, have they shown mercy to anyone? Question mark. Only total executions, no choice, no words about mercy, no humanity, no pardon. They have no right to live. Execute, and execute. This is the right of war for the enemy. So this, he's still not in government, right? He's out of government, but he basically is a mouthpiece for the Putin administration, right? He stepped in for Putin temporarily, held Putin's place, kept his seat warm. There's a Trump check going around of a donation to Kamala. Really? No shit. That's funny. This is so interesting. These characters coming in, and I guess I'm supposed to be triggered by this. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to be triggered by this, guys. This is so, is this supposed to be difficult? Clicking this button? This is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, I'm so triggered. Yeah, please keep trying to derail the stream. I gotta do two of them. I had two turds. Two big, fat, greasy turds had to go down. So anyway, back to the show. Done. You see how easy that is? Done. Back to the show. So anyway, with Dmitry Medvedev here, like I said, he's not officially in Russian government, but he does seem to be a mouthpiece. But he seems to be in the same vein as all the other talking heads, where they talk extreme shit that we all know Russia doesn't have the balls to back up. And they're absolutely still taking prisoners, because there was just a prisoner exchange just a few weeks ago, if I'm correct. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim Goblin, but wasn't it last week there was a prisoner exchange? With that said, things are definitely getting more brutal. I'm definitely seeing more reports of executions from Ukraine on Russian soldiers, and we're seeing more beheadings by Russian soldiers on Ukrainian soldiers. Unfortunately, straight up beheadings. These links, a lot of these links are from your boy Chem Goblin, so make sure you give him props, give him cakes, give him pats. He's like a cat. Likes to be pet on the head. Little pats. But then, you know, if you do it too many times, he will bite your fingers. That's just how Kem Goblin acts. Look, he's a goblin. Don't be racist. The Russians demolished a monument in honor of the victims of the Holodomor in occupied Luhansk. False. No, touch Kem Goblin. I mean, whenever you see him, just start touching him and petting him and stuff. He loves it. So I'm showing this because this is important, and Kem Goblin talks about this because this is important. Russia actively tries to erase history if they don't like it. And you could say, oh, well, Ukraine is knocking down Russian monuments. You know, Ukraine is you know, in places that are trying to, you know, relinquish their, you know, their Russian past, trying to get rid of the Russian history. They're knocking down monuments. It's kind of an interesting thing what Russia does, because Russia will use its culture and history, whatever version of it that they are currently approving, right? Because it's constantly changing and morphing what they approve and disapprove of their history. And they use that to forcibly assimilate the cultures that they take over. They have a history of doing that. I'm speaking very crudely, but they have a history of doing this. It's really quite fascinating how they do it. They come in, your language, they've changed your language, they change the signage, they plop down a bunch of statues to reinforce everything. Like I said, reinforcing their version of history. And then what they'll also do in the places that they occupy is they will erase the actual history. Oh, this never happened. We never victimized you. There was never any murders. This didn't happen. The only thing that happened was the good stuff, the good Soviet stuff. Replace this with a statue of Lenin. So that's kind of what's happening with all these statues getting knocked down and replaced and people fighting back, because Russia, it's like it's not as simple as Russia phobia, or people just don't like Russians because, you know, they don't like their culture. They think the dancing is weird, the weird dancing that they do, and the ballerinas and the ballets are super lame, and no one likes Russia. That's what's going on. No, it really is, because how it's like I want to like Russian history. I want to like Russian culture. You know, there's a lot of amazing art, and the animation coming out of the Soviet Union was totally nuts, really interesting. So it's you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff there, but the way it's been weaponized by the current Russian government makes it a hard thing to do, in my opinion. Moving on to my next story here. Some good news. Russia drops from top 10 largest economies worldwide. So they've been kicking their military industrial complex into high gear, selling oil for pennies on the gallon, giving it away practically. You know, until of course those sanctions kicked in for India. I think that's still happening though. They're finding any way around it. You know, we were seeing some really interesting economic activity out of Russia, but it's official. Amidst a decline in the ruble's value, Russia has fallen out of the top 10 largest economies globally, slipping from 8th place to 11th place, according to a World Bank report released on July 4th, with Italy, Brazil, and Canada surpassing its growth rates last year. There we go. This is, you know, hey, it's just one more metric. The sanctions, you know, anybody that says, oh, you said the sanctions were going to work immediately, and by you, I mean like the left or the people that were advocating for sanctions, that just wasn't true. There was always an acknowledgement that sanctions were never going to be the magic bullet, but they were essential in incentivizing moving away from this direction, and of course making it as difficult as possible for Russia to maintain its war machine. It's a shame though, you know, I can't help but look, I have to be intellectually honest, you know, it's just like I hear woke patriot in my head, but we have to point out that the global community that is punishing Russia did not punish America financially for its military adventurism in the Middle East, in Vietnam, etc., etc. So there is a hypocritical nature to it. There is a privileged nature to how Russia is being punished. All the same, though, they totally deserve it. It's a weird dichotomy where it's like the jailers are hypocrites, right? The ones that are punishing are hypocrites, clearly. But the entity getting punished absolutely deserves it. Totally brazen, completely delusional. How else to describe the current Russian invasion but delusional? Look, man, I don't like this. So here we have a Russian right here on July 7th. Quote, we're going to the train station. A tweet. July 9th, Kolya died. This is his wife. Right here. Russian. 2 days later, dog. 2 days later, man. You think Putin gives a shit? Think Medvedev gives a shit? I mean, it's just such an amazing waste of life. Is this guy Einstein? Is this guy a professor of atomics gonna change history with his inventions? No. Was he? Could he have been a productive member of society and paid his taxes and had kids and had a happy little family and lived his life fat and happy? Yes. But no, he had to be thrown away, dude. And we've seen it. We've all seen the footage. It's in the Discord. I'm going to show you some footage at the end of this segment. Just another body, man. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's a meat grinder. And there's no exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration in the slightest. Human beings treated like animals, like the kind of animals you'd shoot like a wolf in your sheep den, right? You just square in the heart, man. It's just unbelievable, the savagery. And as a human being, I can't believe that the Russian people who have access to this information, I understand it's illegal, this isn't a bigger scandal. I understand it's lockdown. I understand, the government says you can't do it, but I can't even believe it's really unbelievable. Two, it's unbelievable that the people that are actually risking their neck are not believing it right up until the moment the fucking grenade, drops on their head. Or they're cruising down on a motorcycle, blasting to the front lines, and they get completely smoked, man. They get completely fucking smoked. It's like, yeah, no, you're in a golf cart. Okay? Not exactly the hardest target to hit. You're doing 35. You're doing 30, 35 if you're lucky on a dirt road with an electric fucking motor. On your e-scooter. We've seen them on e-scooters, man. So it's I don't get the citizens. I don't get the soldiers. The only way I can describe it is nihilism. The only way I can describe it is nihilism. You're saying you would fight for the Russian cause in the invasion? Ooh, that's what you're saying? You would fight for Russia to help them invade Ukraine? That's how much you believe in the invasion? That's what you're saying? Because this is a Russian soldier, not a Ukrainian soldier. And it's I just stop invading. Stop. Soldiers, put your gun down. And the middle, attack your commanders, kill your commanders, and surrender en masse. Ukraine would take thousands of you, take tens of thousands of you. Ooh, answer the fucking question. This brave woman, I believe a Ukrainian soldier. All right, well, you're a piece of shit. Enjoy the fucking ban list, bitch. Invading, occupying piece of shit. I'm sorry, but I support dominating a smaller country with an army. I'm sorry, but I support invading a country, occupying it, kidnapping children. Yeah, no, I support Russia attacking schools. I support it. Sorry, but I support it. You're a piece of shit. Period. Blessed up kid, we already talked about Biden. What else is there to say about Biden? You know, Kamala Harris is going to be the fucking, you know, the nominee. We have to coalesce around her. There's really no choice. We have to do this. We have zero time. AOC is going to do it. Bernie's going to do it. They're all going to get behind Kamala. Kamala needs to pick a smart VP. I believe the smart VP is Pete Buttigieg. And we're just waiting on a speech from Kamala Harris. We're just waiting on Kamala Harris right now. Is there anything else to talk about? Big Clue, when he said, I feel the conflict calling me. Yeah, it's disgusting. And he absolutely doesn't feel the conflict calling me. He's a little keyboard bitch. Because you think he wants to get, you know, underneath the Ukrainian drone grenade? Oh, all my comrades died, but not me. I'm smarter. I'm better. I'm better at war than they are. No, you're just another corpse. He knows full well he would shit his fucking pants if he was head to the front lines. Oh, but he doesn't even live in Russia. He's doing fucking right-wing groiper. He's probably a fucking right-wing groiper doing fucking cosplay. I would love AOC as VP, but let's get real. The DNC establishment would never do it. Pete Buttigieg, the reason why I like Pete Buttigieg is that he's pretty fucking squeaky clean. The establishment is not going to have a problem with him. He knows how to handle himself pretty well in discussing issues, and you know, and like I said, his recent statements that I've shown have been really good, you know, really positive stuff. So he doesn't have the baggage that a Manchin has. He doesn't have the, you know, the baggage that like an AOC would have, because the establishment would attack AOC. The DNC establishment has already attacked AOC. Gavin Newsom has a bunch of baggage, right? Anyway, that's all there is to discuss when it comes to Biden right now. Unless, let me know if Kamala's doing a speech. Anyway, back to this. Fuck Russia. This absolute hero over here making the best of her situation, having a beautiful baby after losing her leg. I believe in the fight. She was probably a soldier. But she fights on. She continues to fight on, either on the front lines or in the back here, because you know what? This is what we're fighting for. Pete Buttigieg time. Let's push for it. I'm down for Pete Buttigieg as VP. Kamala's got to be president. We got no choice. Push Kamala as president. Pete as VP. Get this shit done. Push it hard. Go to every fucking cafe and slop house across America and stuff your face with fucking cherry pie until you explode. Until the last day of voting. That's what needs to happen. All right, but no, this woman's a hero. This is what we're fighting for. She continues to fight on by raising the next generation of heroes, and I congratulate her. You know, thank you for making your sacrifice. We must continue fighting against the tyrants, and that, you know, and that's why we need to support America supporting Ukraine, but that's why we also need to criticize America for you know, supporting all of its other foreign wars, for you know, for being offensive in a lot of its stance, for supporting 10 pot dictators across the world. Zelensky is definitely not one of them. It's tough. It's tough to be a consistent liberal right now. I want to support democracy. I want to support freedom, and that's why I support the effort to help Ukraine. But I can't sit here and pretend like the United States military-industrial complex is Mr. Nice Guy. What am I, a fucking moron? You know what I mean? What am I, a sucker? That's why that NAFO stuff drives me nuts. Like, yeah, your heart's in the right place, and that's great. You're fundraising for Ukraine. That's great. But let's not pretend like NATO and the military-industrial complex has American citizens' best interest in heart. Yo, Lenny, welcome back. The stream's good to see you. Of course, Lenny is the #1 financial contributor to the stream, all the way from south of Boston. Thank you, Lenny, for being here. Make sure you check out accidentswaitingtohappen.com. Will Americans vote for a man whose name they can neither spell nor pronounce? Pete Buttigieg wants to know. Hey, they voted for Barack Hussein Obama. Russia's vast stocks of Soviet-era weaponry are running out, so this is more good news. You know, and we heard this before. The production is bananas. They're apparently producing like 3,000 tanks a year. They're on track to do that. I think it's T-90s and T-72s are the two primary tanks that they're producing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Gotta quit stroking my beard. It feels so good. But here's another, you know, more evidence that the old stocks are running out. You know, a lot of these tanks they were leaving out in the open to be rained on, to just be snowed on. Oh, nothing can beat Russian engineering. These tanks will be just fine. Don't even need to put them in a garage. So a lot of them were inoperable and they were used as parts and taken apart. So they're kind of they maybe if we're lucky, maybe, who knows? Because like I've said, we've heard this before. They might be running out of shit. Blah blah blah. They say, you know, much vaunted, blah blah blah. You know, they go into it. If you want to read it, I don't have time to read it, but if you want to read it, it's right there. Tried buying something on it and it says your store is offline. Something about fourth wall. They got CrowdStriked, man. Probably that CrowdStrike outage. So this is what that person in the chat that I fucking dumped immediately claims they're fighting for. Hey, congratulations, Jags. You saved up $10,000. That's good. Good for you. Congratulations. Hey, you know, it's a lot of dough. Keep at it. Make sure you invest it wisely. But do try to invest it if you can. If you run across a good opportunity, don't be afraid to spend it. If you're like, no, I got a gut feeling about this. I'm feeling good. Right? Don't let a con man rip it out from you, right? Yeah, exactly, blessed up kid. So this is what that asshole in the chat was claiming. He was gonna, I can't wait to join the front lines. I feel called to the battle. Yeah, my ass you do. Because we've all seen the footage. We've seen Russians scampering around like animals. And I got footage, dude. The footage is gonna blow you away. Ukrainians are using new drones with even bigger payloads. They've been working with chemists to reformulate their bombs so that they don't add extra weight, but they're twice as powerful. So we've all seen the footage. You know, Russian soldiers scampering around the ruins of a town that they just obliterated. And these drones come in there and they just get flattened. No problem, strategy member. Napoleonic Peace Celebratory Anniversary Party turned Ukrainian War Commemoration Meetup. What? For context, it was supposed to be a celebration of the post-Napoleonic peace, but Russia ruined that, almost broken records. So now let's remember that. Wow, fascinating strategy member. You have what sounds to me like the funnest friends group in the world. Congratulations, strategy member, for having cool friends. They're all doing a fucking model UN over there. But no, Jags, real quick. It's not about the money in the bank. It's about what you're doing with it, right? And if you don't have an opportunity, if it's not there, don't spend it, right? But don't be throwing away opportunities, because it's more important to have that number go up. Think Russia will need decades to recover from this war? I believe so. I mean, no, I mean, that's the thing. This is the disgusting thing, and Putin knows this. Say Putin wins, gets concessions from Ukraine, conquers the Donbass, conquers the Crimea, of course, keeps that there. The whole Dnipro River, right, goes all the way down, conquers that whole thing, takes it, right? Takes what, 1/4, 1/5 of Ukraine, secures it. Everyone agrees, right? Donald Trump secures the peace, right? Forces Ukraine to negotiate. Says, well, we're not going to give you any more weapons. Sorry, we don't care about you. We don't give a shit. We're going to go with Putin on this one. Sorry. Forces Zelensky to capitulate. So that happens. If that happens, the global community would, within months, start buying gas, oil from Russia. But it would, you know, within a couple years, it would be right back to business as usual. for the Western Alliance, the United States, especially if the United States, Donald Trump, facilitates Ukraine's capitulation. That'll be that process will be even more accelerated, right? The UK would be like, oh, well, okay, fuck it, fine, all right, well, we're just gonna fuck Ukraine, all right, well, you know, they'll do it quietly, but if it's over, if the war is over and peace is obtained, and Russia gets what it wants, gets that big chunk of Ukraine and you know, and Crimea, of course, it's right back to business as usual within a couple months for the international community and the Western Alliance. Putin knows that. That's how disgusting politics is. That's how disgusting geopolitics is. Am I wrong? Oh yeah, no. Keir Starmer's going to say no to pennies on the dollar oil. Keir Starmer's going to say no to pennies on the dollar oil, guys. You betcha. You bet he will. So will Justin Trudeau, right? Oh yeah, Justin Trudeau, big time. Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is what Russia does, and like I said, we've all seen the footage. And wait do you see this footage I have of these new drones. These new drones are unbelievable from Ukraine. I mean, wait till you see them here. Let me see how many clicks we got until I get to these new drones. Is it this one? No. See here. This one? Better be this one. Yeah. Okay, these are the new drones. But anyway, I wanted to show you this. This is horrific. But once again, this is what Russia is doing to civilians. I've said this many times. I won't repeat myself in length, but for terror campaigns to work, and that's what Russia is doing to the Ukrainian people. It's a terror campaign. For them to work properly, they have to be consistent. Like weeks, you can't have situations where whole weeks go by and a tragedy doesn't occur. The tragedies have to be constant, consistent, and they have to be tragedies. So you have to go after children, old ladies, civilians, random innocents, and that's what we see from Russia's strategy. So here's what it looks like. Here's what Russia's terror campaign looks like in real time. And you know, try to remember that person in the chat that was like, "Oh, I can't wait to join this. I feel the call of duty," or whatever he fucking said. I can't wait to do this. And remember what they support. These cowards that run around the internet like little jokers, you know, cheering on the death of others. It's disgusting.
Населений пункт Зарічне. Бачимо займання внаслідок обстрілу. Є інформація, що в даному
strategy, that's a good point.
домоволодінні перебували люди.
Lenny, at first there wouldn't be tourist trade at first, but 2 or 3 years goes by, the war is over. It's all back to normal. This is what it looks like when the Russian military intentionally attacks farmhouse.
Як до них дійти туди? Як їх забрати? Та ну там же ж люди.
So these were people that were probably asked to leave. They were probably told you really should get out of here. And for a lot of people this age, they're like, you know, it's hard for me to move. It's hard for me to get comfortable. I need to have, you know, everything to get comfortable. They worry that they're not going to have anything to come back to, which is a very real worry, as you can see here. They're worried that they're not going to have anything to come back to. And so they stay in a war zone. You know, they stay in a potential war zone. And Russia doesn't give a shit. Russia justifies this by saying, oh, well, you know, Ukrainian soldiers are hiding in there. How? Ukrainian army is basically doing the same. So the Ukrainian army is basically invading Russia? Is that what you're saying? Wow, man. You guys aren't even trying. These takes are so lazy and so bad and so, like, half-hearted, pulled square out of your ass. You're not even trying to defend this. Both sides, I guess. I don't know. Back to masturbating in video games. I don't know. Both sides, whatever. I give up. I don't know. That's what my argument is. Both sides. It's both bad. Ukraine just bad. I don't know. Bye. Yak, 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 yak. Embarrassing. You're not even trying anymore. Just fucking go, dude. Oh, same thing. Yeah, no. Ukraine tried to invade Russia by talking about NATO. It's good enough. It's basically the same thing. Embarrassing. Stupid assholes. There you go. That's a little taste. That's 2.5 minutes of what a Ukrainian civilian has to deal with because of Russia's invasion. And it's all justified. It's all justified. Oh, that's bad, but Ukraine's still bad. I mean, that sucks and everything, but Ukraine's still bad. So Zelensky over here making a comment directly to Donald Trump, you know, congratulating him on the Republican nomination. He's got no other point. He's got no other choice but to play this card. Oh, no, Woke Patriot. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, yeah, same thing. Donbass. Remember Donbass? 2013, 2014, Donbass. Remember that? Same thing. Same thing. Any munitions that's fallen on Russian civilians has been munitions that have been shot down by Russia. Munitions that were on their way to military targets. That's exactly what just happened on the Crimean beach there. Apparently, Crimean tourism has gone way down. Russians are no longer that interested to hang out on the Crimean beach. Gee, I wonder why. Like I said here, Zelensky over here congratulating Donald Trump, you know, saying, you know, agreed with President Trump, personal meeting. He's got no choice but to say this stuff. He knows what's up with Donald Trump, but there is a possibility. Okay, because we saw this with Trump in the past. There is a possibility where someone gets in the room with Donald Trump, convinces him it's actually a slam dunk to help Ukraine. It actually makes you look like a super badass to help Ukraine and put Putin in his place. I don't know if you're aware of that, right? I just, you know, like, hey, I love you, Trump. I'll suck your toes anytime you want, buddy. But I just wanted you to know, like, maybe you should think about this, because if you help Ukraine and you push back Putin, it makes you look like a super hardcore badass. And so there's this sliver of hope that Trump could be convinced that, hey, it's a big win, because it was a big win. Look, it was a big win for Biden early on until he floundered and he failed, right? But you could be the guy that does it, right? You could be the guy that slam dunks this, bro. And Trump goes, ooh, I like that. I really like that. That's going to make me look so tough and so cool. I really like that. That's cool. And my military likes that. The generals like that. So, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Trump has because he's been promising this whole election to completely fuck Ukraine. I mean, hardcore, right? Totally bananas, right? Trump has been promising the whole kit and caboodle. J.D. Vance promising the whole kit and caboodle, right? Trump would switch on a dime if someone in the room was able to convince him that it would make him look like a badass. He's a total rando. He's a total grenade. He's a maverick, if you want to be generous to Donald Trump. And J.D. Vance would be like, ooh, I don't like that, and ooh, that's not good. And Trump will say, shut the fuck up, J.D. Vance. You do what you're told, bitch. That's how Trump acts. Okay, look, like it or not, and I don't like it, but there's no, you think J.D. Vance is gonna, one thing that Donald Trump really liked about Mike Pence is that he shut the fuck up. Is that he sat there like a good little boy and he did exactly what he was told the entire time until the very end, until the last thing. But that was the thing. That was, because it was funny because people coming and going from the Trump administration, right, left and right, ping, 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 shot down, right? Mike Pence sitting there cool as a cucumber the entire time. You know why? because he kept his mouth shut. So JD Vance is over here going to be like, well, Peter Thiel suggested that maybe we should do this and maybe we should do martial law and maybe we should do that. And Trump's going to be like, bitch, no one likes martial law. I don't like that shit. No one likes that Peter Thiel shit. You know, JD Vance is going to be quite surprised because he thinks he's going to have, he thinks he's going to be like a soothsayer over Trump. And Trump's going to be like, shut the fuck up, JD. You're just along for the ride, man. This is the Trump train. This is the Trump train. You know, Peter Thiel needs to kiss my ring. I don't need to talk to you. Moving on to my next story. It's been 18 months and F-16s have not yet arrived, says Zelensky. Joe Biden, where are you at, man? Lead. For the love of God, Joe Biden, lead. Please. I'm begging this man. No F-16s still? 7 months into the year? Still? Joe Biden's an embarrassment. He is an embarrassment. He is the definition of the current DNC Democratic Party. Frightened, cowed, unwilling to react to what's happening, insisting everything happen, you know, very, very slowly and on their own timetable, and where are the adults in the room, and is patronizing as could fucking be. This leadership from this party, I'm so done with them. I'm so done. Can Kamala just take over right now? You know what I mean? Who knows, man? Who knows how bad this COVID situation? Look, I mean, even fully vaccinated people that age who get COVID can kick the bucket. Considering Trump would just cancel the offer. Maybe. Yeah. There's like a 70% chance that that's the direction Trump would go in. But we don't know that. Trump wasn't exactly like people, you know, Rachel Maddow and the liberal mainstream neoliberal media, they like to pretend that Trump was like super friendly with Russia, but there was all kinds of like sanctions and stuff, and I do believe he did send money to Ukraine. I think he still approved some money to Zelensky. So the chaos continues. Moving on to the next story here. The chaos continues. Anti-Russian politician shot dead outside home. And once again, thank you, Chem Goblin, for these links. I think this one I actually found myself, though. But thank you again, Chem Goblin, for all your links. And, of course, Davey as well. If U.S. support for Ukraine drops, France and Germany will step up. Not for long. Not for long. A Ukrainian nationalist politician who opposed Russian-speaking soldiers being allowed to join the country's army has been shot dead outside of her home. Irina Farion died on Friday evening in a hospital in Lviv, hours after an assassin fired a single bullet into her head as she left her apartment block. Just had the gun lined up, waited for her to walk outside of her door, and plucked her like a cherry. Police have launched a manhunt for the murderer who fled on foot, and Volodymyr Zelensky has asked to be informed on its progress. The Ukrainian president suggested Russia may have been involved in the killing, which was celebrated by pro-Kremlin voices on social media. Quote, all versions are being investigated, including the one leading to Russia, Mr. Zelensky said. Eyewitnesses said that an unknown man wearing a hat and thick glasses, despite the summer heat, had been watching Farion's apartment block over the past fortnight. Broken security cameras fixed to the apartment block are hampering the official police investigation. Russian bombing raids against Ukraine's power generation infrastructure have triggered nationwide power cuts. Igor Klemenko, Ukraine's interior ministry, said investigators were working on several potential motives. Quote, the main ones I can say are social, political activity, and personal hostility, he said. So, the terror continues. If you want to read the rest of this amazing article, here it is. Those are my estimates, not purse reflecting reality. Okay. So here we go, folks. The clip you've all been waiting for. These two clips are official bananas level. I'm talking official sit the fuck down. and prepare your jaw to be wide open. So like I said, so I've heard some rumors that Ukraine has been working with chemists to change some of their formulas for their plastic explosives, for their grenades, for the for the explosives that they're attaching to the bottom of these drones. And this might be what we're seeing here, because these are not your average grenades, just haphazardly thrown to the bottom of a drone and and cross your fingers, hope that it works. Like this is a whole nother level. This is a next level kind of upgrade. And wait till you see some of these explosions. These are absolutely crazy. And yeah, we got the cringy ass music. Yeah, so just look at this. The impact of some of these. This one's crazy. But yeah, I mean that one's really spectacular, right? I mean, right there, gets in there. Look how dinky that is. Look how dinky that is. Gets on in there and just unbelievable, right? The roof disintegrated. Completely disintegrated. Who knows, because these explosions are going down as well. Right? I mean, that is not the same. That is not the same shit that they've been using the last couple months. I mean, look at that. That is fucking bananas, dude. That's a full-blown torrent of destruction. Rocks, and then a jet stream. Holy shit, dude. So that is truly, I'm guessing they don't have fragments. Yeah, it's simply about obliteration. Completely destroying the position. Collapsing. You can actually see, so check it out right here. So you can kind of see right here in this frame. Get it back here, right here. You can see full dirt mound, dug up. Pretty good fortifications right here. Watch as this whole mound of dirt falls in, and that's the internal structure collapsing. What's news underground? I don't fuck. You tell me. But watch this. Slides in the whole mound of dirt, tons of dirt. Slides in. Oof, dude. Nasty shit. Yeah, there's because I mean some of the it's kind of interesting, right? Because they show in this video right here, they show the soldier, what he's putting up is like a net, right? So he's putting up one of these little, some kind of netting of some sort, some chicken wire or something. It blasts through. You can actually see the netting. You can actually see the netting collapse. So he just blasts the drone through. Of course, and that's what happened. Look what happens there. The whole structure. You can see the whole structure. Look, you can see actually right there. Look at that smoke shooting out right there. Right there. Smoke shooting out. The whole structure right here falls in. Jeez. Explodes actually and then collapses in. But no, I mean, these kind of countermeasures used to be more effective. So here's a different angle of the same thing. These kind of countermeasures used to be more effective. Right? Little shields and little things like that. Not with an explosion like that, though. How can you donate? Well, we do have a merch store. If you want to buy some merch, check out ! Merch. So that's an amazing bit of footage there. So hold on to your butts, folks, because it gets even crazier now. And I do need to make sure that my censor button is going, because there is a piece of footage that I can't show you. I need to make sure that is working properly. There we go. So there's a piece of footage where these Ukrainian soldiers are clearing out these trenches, and this dude who has been rocked by like grenades and artillery, and he's just sitting there. It's totally crazy. Just sitting there, doesn't say anything. And And, you know, the Ukrainian soldier just coming in, moves around the corner, and he's just sitting there. And, you know, the Ukrainian soldier just right then and there takes him out. And it's like he's probably completely fucked. He's, you know, he's like, he doesn't even know what's going on. And it's like, man, I just can't believe. It's just like, get the hell out of here, please, stop. You're getting smoked. You know, these guys have had like 6 minutes of training. Some of these Russians. They've had like 6 seconds of training. You know what I mean? And they don't know what's going on. And they're up against professional warriors. Some of the most competent soldiers on planet Earth right now. Battle tested, hardened, cold as ice. On the planet. Okay? Peak shit. And they're up against these vodka-soaked wastrels. Barely literate. Some of them have like medical disease, you know, medical issues, like big time issues like AIDS and stuff. And I'm not saying there aren't elite soldiers still, you know, there aren't elite battalions. They of course, those do exist. There's not that many of them though. And there's a lot of good Russian soldiers that have died. That you know, there's all kinds of talent that the Russian military used to have that no longer exists. These Ukrainian soldiers are just, it's unbelievable. I don't know how they crawl around in the trench with these nutsacks. I don't get what they have, like sleds, they have some kind of apparatus. Oh, hold on. I think I can show this, yeah. Okay, yeah, put that on space. Kamala Harris is going to be president, then it's going to be, I'm guessing Pete Buttigieg, but it's anyone's guess really who's going to be VP. But it's practically a guarantee. Yeah, Chem Goblin. I mean, this is the hardest job on planet Earth. Just making sure there's no bodies. This is the hardest job on planet Earth. But for real, who's replacing him? Kamala Harris is replacing him, running for president. You're voting for Kamala. God damn, Kanye West, yeah. 2 tours? Where? In Ukraine? Sorry, Borderline. Give me a break. Give me a break, guys. It's kind of big news. So this is the footage right here. This is the footage I can't show you. I can't show you this. Yeah, so they throw a grenade in there. The guy's completely stunned. The guy is completely zoinked. He's just sitting there. He's like sitting there like 2 inches to the left. There's a guy sitting there, a Russian. And he's not shouting surrender, you know, who knows? A lot of these guys, they don't surrender. I can't show you this. I gotta blur it all out. But he's just sitting there. Yeah, so I gotta blur it out. I can't even show you the blurred version because it's so fucking nasty, dude. Terminated. The guy gets fucking deleted. So if you want to see the footage, it's right here and here. I'll just timestamp it as well. It's timestamp footage. If you would like to watch it in your own private time, there it is right there. But I do, out of respect for Jeff Bezos, I do have to skip this incredibly juicy part of the video. Sorry. You know I don't want to, but them's the rules. I know. Them's the fucking rules. Talk to Jeff. I don't know. I don't run the fucking show around here. Talk to Jeff. Good evening. Just read the news 2 minutes ago. I just wish Biden came sooner to his decision. Yeah, well, too little, too late, right? That's the story of the neoliberals. Now we have no choice. We got to keep moving. We have to coalesce around Kamala, and we have to proceed. That's it. That's the only choice. Russians are -3. One's in control at 12. Keep it under control. Wow, so that's amazing. In the heat of battle, right? So this communication, this is where the training comes in. Right. This is where the Russians completely, they just scatter like children. They're so frightened. They don't know what's going on. They're not yelling at each other. They're not communicating, so this is how it works though. Chain of command, right? So we got the guy who's like the commander of that area, leading these soldiers. He's listening to the radio. He's getting a tally. Okay, the Russians over here are done. Stop shooting as much. You got to conserve your ammo. We don't have ammo backup right now. So stop shooting as much. We got -3 Russians over here, and there's a Russian over there at 12 o'clock. Keeping everybody organized, keeping everybody directed. And that's all that training. That's the training right there. There's nothing else that can replace that. Power grab at the convention? No. Nope. I think it's going to be, a very quick ceremony. It's going to be very quick. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. They're going to make a big deal of the VP, right? But they're going to make a big fat deal of the VP. So they're going back in there. Is this the footage that I'm not allowed to show? Maybe this is the footage that I can't show. Yeah, but I can't show it to you. The guy gets completely fucking murked. But no, it's about, you got to get, we have days. All right. I know we should basically, I know we have a couple months, but we basically should pretend that we have like 2 seconds to do this, right? We should be in the mode of, we got a couple weeks left. So we got to coalesce, get that VP in there, and then politic like crazy, and then do whatever you can, of course, legally to push back against the Russians. Wow, look at that. That is a wild piece of footage right there. I want to see that again. But we got to push back against the Russians. But no, we got to do what we can. The Democratic legal apparatus has to do whatever it can to push back against the Republicans. We're going to be legally challenging ballots across every state in the nation. They're going to be trying to say you're not allowed to put Kamala on the ballot. It's Joe Biden. You have no choice. It should be Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They're going to make some of the most undemocratic arguments you've ever seen in your life, and it doesn't matter how many times you call them hypocritical or anti-democratic. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to hire as many lawyers as necessary to challenge as many ballots as possible across the nation. They want this, of course, to go to the Supreme Court so that the corrupt activist Supreme Court sides with Trump. So those are the challenges ahead. So we can't be distracted with a power grab. I know I want it. I want Bernie. I want AOC. You don't think I want these things? Goddamn, I want them. But we're dealing with objective reality here. We have to play the game on the table. Suck it up. So, what can I say? I'm sorry. This is politics, man. Okay, I'm used to getting fucked. I don't know if you're used to getting fucked. I'm pretty used to getting fucked. When I hear "suck it up," I go, "Yeah." Sometimes we got to suck it up, and then I suck it up. Some people aren't used to getting fucked as much, and when they hear "suck it up," they're like, "That's insulting." But no, we got to suck it up. Got to coalesce. That's wild footage. That's the incendiary right there going crazy. Maybe. Something's on fire. It could be ammo, by the way, that could explode at any moment. You don't really know. It's Kamala. Kamala. She should do a speech today. I'm actually rather shocked that she hasn't done a speech already. Already dropping the ball, Kamala, in my eyes. It's ammo, yeah. Yeah, she's already dropping Look at this guy, dude. Look at these heroes. Look at these absolute badasses, dude. Tell me this isn't... I got to slow this down. Tell me this isn't some of the most badass shit on planet Earth right now. Okay, we're going to mute that. But no, look at these scenes, frame for frame, what is happening right now in front of our eyes, and tell me these guys aren't sick as fuck. Aren't absolutely sick as fuck, dude. Bananas. Okay? The training, the execution, what they have been able to accomplish against a much larger, much more logistically, there's on paper, if you were playing like the game Risk or something, if you're playing like a war game and you were looking at, just a numbers comparison, you'd be like, oh, I want to be the Russians. Oh yeah, morale, I don't really care that much about morale. I mean, look at how many, there's like 10 times the soldiers, 10 times the tanks, 10 times the money, all the relationships, you know, India and all these different, you know, China and all these different relationships. Oh, I obviously I want to play the game as Russia. Objectively, when you look at it on paper, right? But there's one factor that you would have missed. There's one factor you would have missed, and you would end up losing that game. And that's these guys right here. These unbelievable Ukrainian soldiers. And I say that trying to be as unbiased as possible. These guys are unbelievable. It's crazy. It's really nuts to me. I can't really stress this enough, how hard this is, how brave they are. And they still take prisoners in this environment when they can, when these guys surrender. A lot of these guys are convinced that they're going to be tortured like they torture Ukrainians. So they fight to the death. No, Blue Brother, Gavin Newsom has too much baggage, dude. Pete Buttigieg is squeaky clean. If you're going to go white guy neoliberal, why not go with Pete Buttigieg, who has a much better story as a homosexual man, you know, who can speak very eloquently on those issues, you know, who has no baggage. Whereas Gavin Newsom, he's got a bunch of baggage with California and, you know, and all that other stuff, and, you know, failed, half-hearted neoliberal failed, you know, attempts to fix some of the issues in California, and he's kind of failed. San Francisco. I don't know about fucked up, but he didn't fix a lot of the issues that wow, dude. He didn't fix a lot of those issues, so he's got a lot of baggage. Pete Buttigieg, you know, he's still pretty fresh-faced, but he governs well. He's done a pretty good job as transportation secretary. You know, I'm not going to say he's done a great job, but there's no baggage. He's got a great story. And I do think he could go toe-to-toe with J.D. Vance. I do think he could easily handle a debate with J.D. Vance and really fuck him up, you know, embarrass him, you know, really put him in his place. Ukraine just published major fuck up. Really? Give me the link. Let me see it. Let me see this major fuck up. I report on Ukrainian mistakes all the time. Trailhead, I don't even put your energy in hoping that, okay? What we need to hope for is that the Democratic Party coalesces very quickly, acts very quickly. That was a satchel charge. That was a motherfucking satchel charge, boys. Look at that shit, dude. Look at that. Oh, nasty. That's a whole bundle of nasty right there, boys. Oh, fuck nuts, dude. Just give up. Just surrender, dog. Yell, I surrender. There's a good chance these guys will take you prisoner. Man. And there might not have even been a person in there. You don't even know, right? Show me the link. Where's this fuck up? Come on, propagandist. LOL. You don't even spell LOL correctly. Oh, shit, dude. This fucking blew up on him. Was there a Russian in there? Was there a Russian in there? Oh, no. Okay, he threw a grenade. Oh, okay, he threw a grenade. All right. So accompanying to what you just said, it's going to be Trump again, which would be final sunset for U.S. democracy. Well, not exactly. Not exactly. You underestimate the amount. People, I would vote personally for a spoiled cheese sandwich over Trump. I would vote for toe fungus over Trump. I would vote for a colonoscopy every day for, you know, for a year over Trump. Not 2 years. I'm not doing 2 years. You tell me I got to get a colonoscopy every day for 2 years? All right, I'm just going to vote Trump. 1 year? Okay, I'm still voting colonoscopy for every day for an entire year. Are you paying for? I'm not paying for these, am I? Fuck, I'm paying for these. Fuck. That's fine. My colon's gonna be squeaky clean, but I ain't voting Trump. YouTube video. Wow. Okay. Well, welcome to not only being banned but being reported. My goodness. My goodness. Yep, there we go. Advocating harassment, that's good enough. Said Jew tube. There we go. Submit report. Block this user. There we go. And let's go ahead and ban this person right there. Wow, that is just some disgusting shit right there. And of course, he's a pro-Russian propagandist, right? Of course he is. Do you think Kamala will be the first lady president, or is she trans or to man before snipe to make Hillary the first still? I'm not even really gonna respond to that nonsense. I'm just gonna ban you immediately. Big Unit G, go ahead and join the ban list. You're disgusting. I don't even want to talk to you. Liars and bad actors often use things that are true to twist them into their narrative. No, I mean, liars and bad actors will often use true things, twist them to their narrative, you know, do whatever, you know, start the conversation with an objectively true thing and then lead you into a conversation about, you know, their nonsense. Yeah, Kanye West, this is intense, man. This shit is, you know, you don't forget this, I assume. I'll never experience this. This is as close as I'll ever get. But I would imagine that you don't forget this. Oh, Chem Goblin. Yeah, we did. Well, I mean, when Ukraine loses a position, oftentimes it's either because they're pulling out or because they're making a strategic retreat so that they don't waste resources on a location that's not necessary. But, I mean, there's a few places where Russia is pushing legitimately. And the person we can thank mostly for that is Joe fucking Biden. Ukraine should have F-16s in the air, hitting all of these places. Was it Chem Goblin? Interesting. Interesting. Those grenades they throw around do not fuck around, dude. Just random shit on fire inside, because, you know, they're throwing grenades and all these. They, you know, these nades do not fuck around. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I'm not showing anything. No, there's nothing. I don't think there's anybody in there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to stick around, dude. The ammo's blowing up. Oh, really? Chem Goblin. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good. You know, that's proactive. People that make mistakes. I mean, that happens so much in World War II. You know, that happens so much in World War II. These, you know, these commanders and soldiers that made bad moves, they were shuffled around, they lost their position, they were demoted, you know, replaced with other guys that tried new things, were more successful. That's just how it is. As long as they're not allowing through corruption, as long as they're not letting, you know, people make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Okay, well, Patriot, interesting. We'll show a little bit more of that before we finish for today. Here's why I'm glad I'm not in this trench warfare. This is drone battlefield. No, man, the drone stuff changes everything. Because you could be doing really well. You could be putzing along in your little trench, and then all of a sudden something drops directly on top of you. Yeah, artillery fire is one thing, but dude, drone grenades, that's a whole nightmare. That's a whole other thing. They're using thermobaric grenades, yeah. Often the ammunition inside blows up. Yeah, there's no way to feel safe. There's no way to truly feel safe. Even in the trench, even if you're deep and tucked in, you could still be completely fucked. Still no speech from Harris, watching live, waiting for baseball. I can't believe Harris is not getting in front of a TV. I'm having a hard time believing this. Harris, you got to get in front of a camera, honey. I better not do that. That's patronizing. What a fucking moron. When's prime time? 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock. Is that prime time? Yeah, that's actually really smart. If Kamala does a speech while I'm at the movie theater, I'll come back and do a really quick one to cover Kamala's speech. Overwhelmed walking down the street, let alone having to clear a trench. I could imagine, Camp Goblin. You live there. Ukraine there. Fucking Putin. Trying to make everyone a victim. Completely smoked. Not a single leaf on any tree. You guys are nuts. Saving the ammo. These dugouts they never end. Jesus, man. That was a Wednesday or something for this guy. Man, that was a Wednesday. That was a Tuesday for these guys. Wow. I'm just totally blown away how they do it, you know, and how they, because like all the bullshit, you know, seeing Joe Biden, you know, seeing how Joe Biden's acting, and you know, and how do you continue to fight? But it's because you're fighting for your country's existence. Let's get some information real quick from reporting from Ukraine. Just a quick 5-minute clip here.
Interesting developments come from the Toretsk direction. Here, Russians attempted to continue their spearhead offensive in New York, but were fiercely countered by Ukrainian fire from all sides. Firstly, Russians are trying to deepen their breakthrough and drive a wedge in the Ukrainian lines. After that, Russians will try to link up with their offensive efforts in Pivnishne to the north and outflank Ukrainian defenses to the west. Russians will prioritize a northern advance, however, as they can then support their current advance toward Toretsk, a crucial Ukrainian fortress city and logistics hub in the region. Before they can do this, Russians must first take complete control over the fortified Ukrainian settlement of New York. Russians had intensely bombed Ukrainian fortifications here beforehand, but lost their momentum as the strength of Ukrainian defenses only increased the deeper they advanced. Now Russians continue to bomb the industrial zone with Fab glide bombs, as this is the central defensive position still entirely under Ukrainian control, where manpower and ammunition are stored and the defense is coordinated. Russian drone detachments are also active here, dropping grenades on Ukrainian positions and providing overwatch for Russian assault groups. Despite intense Russian bombing, Russian forces have not been able to make any advancements since last week for multiple reasons. The first being is that Ukrainians constantly target these Russian assault groups with FPV drones and drone-dropped grenades of their own. Geolocated footage shows a Ukrainian FPV drone hitting a building a Russian assault group was sheltering in. The footage taken from an observation drone also shows that at least one soldier had been wounded, indicating this group had already been hit earlier by Ukrainians and that the soldiers were those that had survived the initial attack. If you want to get access to the original uncensored combat footage, the second reason becomes clear after Russians released geolocated footage from a Russian FPV drone showing a hit on a Ukrainian Max Pro armored vehicle mounted with a 50mm caliber heavy machine gun.
Similar to a Bradley,
while the footage shows the armored truck was hit from the top and destroyed, the presence of the Max Pro continues to show how Ukrainians...
Look at how reckless this is. Look at how reckless. This is not a good idea. I'm sorry, on paper, this looks like a terrible idea for the Russian.
Use their positions on top of the hills surrounding New York to fire down and into advancing Russian units. Geolocated footage also shows that Ukrainians had advanced their area of control toward the south of the settlement. In these cases, Ukrainians don't have to physically counterattack in order to gain ground, as they can expand their FPV fire control and deny Russian units entry to an area, saving Ukrainian soldiers' lives.
It's a contentious
Despite
thing to
both
say,
sides not posting combat footage due to the high intensity of fighting, both
Because it's like, get over it, okay? You know, like, yeah, I get it, but, you know, yeah, sure, make Ukrainian the official language, but don't trip if someone's supporting Ukraine but they speak Russian. Don't trip about that. But yeah, it doesn't deserve to be assassinated.
Russian and Ukrainian sources implicate that Russians are losing the fight for the high-rise district in New York. They know that Ukrainian fighters had counterattacked and retaken control over several streets, isolating Russians in and to the apartment complexes. As you remember, Russians dug a tunnel from Novoselivka to here that was only big enough
Right,
to
so this was that surprise tunnel offensive that, you know, that Russian blogger, he was in the tunnel doing a little video. I don't even know if that guy's still alive.
move one soldier through at a time, also making it impossible to evacuate their wounded. As such, Russian losses in the high-rise district have quickly mounted. Russians were also unable to properly connect their forces here to the rest of the spearhead, meaning the only thing they could do to continue the fight was pour more men into the one-way death trap of the high-rise. It is important to note that while
Imagine
Russians
being
are
that
practically
soldier.
isolated in the apartment complexes, it will still be a tough fight for Ukrainians to push them out. The interconnected rooms, hallways, many windows, stairways, and no possibility of
Well, Chem Goblin, then why was she assassinated? Do you think she was assassinated by a Ukrainian?
retreat for Russian fighters will make it an urban combat hell for everyone involved. In general, Russian forces have committed most of their reserves to the front line to put pressure on Ukrainians who have trouble defending against multiple such offensives. Ukrainian analysts know that the Russian High Command has done this to undermine international support for Ukraine and force Ukraine into negotiations with Russia. However, this series of offensives do not come without a price. The Institute for the Study of War states that while Russian forces are able to make slight territorial gains, these come at a high cost in human life and have led to Russian forces committing under-equipped units to reinforce these grinding assaults. They state that the Russian military-industrial complex is unable to meet the rising demand for Russian forces fully.
Yeah.
This all-out approach has also led to one Russian...
Yeah, I've seen, not just the Institute for the Study of War, but, you know, I've seen several other, you know, places that I get my information from. I've seen them confirm this as well. But we've heard this before. I think that's why a lot of people are not, like, jumping on this bandwagon so quickly.
Officer coming forward, stating that his brigade had actually lost over 12,000 men throughout the war, while the official number is only 6,000.
Okay, so she made a statement. Kamala Harris made a statement. She's not going to do a speech. No shit. Really?
He finishes by saying that if there are already 12,000
Thank you,
casualties
Trailhead.
in one brigade, how many Russian soldiers have died over the entire front? While Russian forces are rapidly draining
Don't
their
be sorry,
combat
Whiskey.
capabilities, Ukrainians in turn are strengthening theirs. Western military aid continues to flow into the country,
That was a
and the
tweet,
Kyiv
okay.
Independent reported that over 4
In front
million
of the
Ukrainian
camera,
military-aged men have already signed up for the draft. Additionally, Polish authorities have signed a bilateral
How long is it to force an intern to write a speech for you? You know, how long does that take? What, a couple hours? She's had time to do this.
security agreement stating that the Polish armed forces will train and equip Ukrainian
It's
volunteers under a Polish legion, further bolstering Ukrainian armed forces in the future. Overall, Russians have decided on an all-out approach, deploying even under-equipped units to reinforce grinding
All out.
offensive operations. Meanwhile, Ukrainians are rebuilding
I
their
know,
strength
woke
to better
patriot.
hold the defense
I
and
know.
build up strong operational reserves to counterattack where possible. In New York, the Russian offensive is stagnating, as Russians are unable to cope with Ukrainian drone strikes and
Yeah.
intense fire from
No,
the
and that's fair to say. It is stagnating, and you know, Zelensky outright said it's official, it's a failure, this offensive. And I think, you know, I think I'm there with him. I think it's fair to agree with that.
hills. Ukrainians are slowly able to push forward, encircling Russians
you're
in the
probably right,
high-rise
woke
district
patriot, yeah.
and condemning Russian soldiers to a one-way trip through the tunnel.
Watch, she's gonna spend all this time trying to get it right, and it's just gonna be some fucking neoliberal fucking dreck.
In
All
appreciation
right, so thank you, reporting from Ukraine once again for your incredible insights and research. It's very valuable. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, folks, and yes, buying that merch from Reporting from Ukraine. If you ever want to support that Ukrainian flag, you know where to get that merch. Make sure you're helping them out. All right, last little bit here. Let's just type in Biden one more time. See what they're talking about on the streams, and then we'll close it up. Biden, I think you can get him doing a Netflix series on pages in Congress. Presumably she gets to use Biden's campaign team. Yeah, it's probably a full switchover. Oh wow, RFK holds a press conference. This ought to be
it's
good.
destroying our country. We need a change. If people want more of the same, they can vote Democrat and they can vote Republican.
Right. So he's sucking Trump's dick. Okay. All right. We don't need to hear that. No, thank you. Trump. It's got to be Trump. Oh yeah. Sure, buddy. He was always about peeling away votes from the Democrats, right? That's what it was always about. We have confirmation on that, actually. It's pretty wild. But will the RFK freaks stop talking about him? No, of course they won't. No, we gotta vote. We gotta vote fascist. There's no choice. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Joe Biden's a poll guy. He's going to look at the idea in spite.
Trump actually isn't very popular, but the reason why Trump is able to succeed is because of the broken state of the Electoral College in America, and also the broken state of American political apathy. Most of America hates Trump, it despises Trump. A grand majority of Americans don't vote, though. The people that do vote, it's split about 50-50. It's easy to forget that the voting population of America is a minority of the population. A grand majority, I think it's what was the participant? Look at, if someone could look it up for me. The voter participation rate of the last election was actually historically high. Actually, Trump versus Biden, if I remember correctly, it was historically high. But still, hundreds of millions of Americans did not participate in that vote. And that leads us down this direction right here, where the partisans are really the ones making the decisions, the ride or dies on both sides.
That Joe Biden was reaching out to earlier this week when he spoke to the NAACP. Our CBS News polling shows that only 58% of black voters said they would definitely vote this November. Do you think that moving Vice President Kamala Harris to the top of the ticket changes those numbers in any meaningful way? We've had a lot of focus on black men in particular being peeled away.
So, I mean, this is our life for the next upteen days. Look, Kamala needs to do a speech. Who's going to be the VP? But really, it's about Kamala. She's taking over. It's the process. Look, I'm sorry. We all know it's so funny how that reporter said Obama said it needs to appear Democratic. It's so hilarious. They're not. It's so funny how that slipped out. I don't know how that slipped out, and everyone's just ignoring that and it's just taking that seriously. But that's what's going to happen here. It's a clown show. It's always been a clown show. We know it's a clown show since Bernie. It's going to be a coronation. It's not going to be a real nomination process. Progressives got to suck it up. We've never had to suck it up harder, right? Because do I want AOC to be the VP? Sure. I'd take Bernie, right, to be the VP. Sure. Of course. I would love that over Pete Buttigieg, or Gavin Newsom, or, anyone else. But this is it. We got no choice. We know what direction they're going to go in. They're already going. They're already the representatives of Kamala. The representatives of the DNC are already on cable news, pushing the Kamala narrative. We have hours. We have days. We have hours. We do not have a lot of time. We have no choice but to get behind this travesty of democracy. We have no choice but to do that, and get behind Kamala, vote Kamala, say, look, defend Kamala. Yep. Because so what we're going to get is, so the right wing narrative is, so we've seen the advanced propaganda and how they do it, which is, they don't talk about, oh, Kamala bad or Kamala's black or whatever. What do they say? Oh, both sides. Oh, you see, look how undemocratic. They just coronated this replacement. There was no real democracy. Just give up. Don't participate. Just give up. Can you believe how the Democratic Party screwed over everybody? You could have had Bernie and etc. and blah, blah, blah. Both sides. They're going to be hammering the both sides super hard on the left. You're going to see that all over social media. Oh, it's just both sides. because they understand the only thing that that could really tank, the thing that could most effectively tank the Democratic Party is lack of participation. Is getting people to tune out, is getting people to become cynical and just agreeing. It's funny, a lot of the right wingers that are trying to convince left wingers to both sides and just ignore it are voting. Yeah, they'll call her cringe, and the racist will say all the racist stuff that they want to say. I'm sure Fuentes is licking his chops, etc., etc. But what we just have no fucking choice on this, man. It just sucks. It sucks so much. Sucks so much toes. It sucks. Okay, it sucks. All right, sucks toes, big time. I agree. But this is what we got. We can make this right now. We're in completely uncharted territory, and the wonks were warning us. They were warning us about, people don't know who Kamala Harris is. There's a chance that, there's not enough momentum to let enough people know. And they're also worried about the legal challenges, which would then go to the Supreme Court, right? That's what AOC was warning us about. So that's what the presidential election on the left looks like right now. Is telling people about Kamala Harris and whatever her VP choice is, and doing whatever we can to money, fund, support getting Kamala Harris on the ballot, because Republicans are going to be challenging that across the nation, undemocratically and shamelessly. All the pundits, Katie Tur and Jake Tapper are going to be talking about, doing whole 45-minute segments about, the nasty Republicans are so undemocratic, and they're challenging, in every state, they're challenging the Democrats' attempt to change the ballot to put Kamala Harris as the president instead of Joe Biden. They're going to do it shamelessly. They don't care. They don't care how it makes them look. It does not matter. It's a legitimate fight. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm missing something. But that's where we're at. You goddamn right. I'm going to be covering every second of this. This is totally bananas. But that's where we're at right now in terms of the left, the left in America. Once again, the Republicans, the bad actors are going to try to do both sidesism. They're going to try to dissuade us from voting, convince us that there's no hope, just give up. They're going to double down, triple down on that. You're so undemocratic. I just give up. You should give up. And every time I need to have a special sound effect or something. Every time we see one in the chat, they need to be called out and ridiculed, right? Because they're either inadvertently doing it or they're intentionally doing it at this point. A lot of people inadvertently do it because they're just like, it's very frustrating. It's kind of like I said, I've made this comparison before, kind of like being on a highway and both sidesism is like an off ramp, right? Like, I don't actually have to pay attention to politics. I don't really have to figure out if it isn't both sides or not. It's just both sides, and then I can just go back to my, comfy little life. Harris Clinton, no, boo this man. Harris Clinton, boo this man. Oh yeah, borderline feline, yeah. Weak, bitchy, cranky. We're going to hear it all. We're going to hear every sexist trope, every racist trope. We're going to hear all of it. But this is the direction forward. Thank you, everybody. Look, we got Esper sticking around. Thank you for everybody, all the viewers, all the lurkers. You guys sticking around for the commentary. It doesn't seem like you're disagreeing. Like, I just want to make sure I got my head right in this situation. This is totally nuts. If I don't know if I said it yesterday. I know I said it to myself when I was thinking about this yesterday, but if they were going to make a move, it was going to be this weekend. It has to be this weekend, right? Like, if they were ever going to do anything, it was going to be this weekend. And really, yesterday, it did not look like they were making a move. It looked, there were statements that were put out. I showed that Inside Edition clip. We're not moving. We're not going. So that was the story on Saturday. Apparently, even like the campaign didn't know until minutes before he released the letter. Well, we got no choice now, Trailhead. We got no choice. We got to make her a starter. We got to make her a star, okay? And really, all we need from her is strong pushback, strong speeches, eloquent, powerful, not this whispering, not this hey Jack, whisper into the mic, do real quick, don't move, corn pop. It needs to be the exact opposite. It needs to be opposite. It needs to be big energy, going after the Republicans. You can bet we got you. We're gonna fix Roe v. Wade. We're gonna butt fuck the motherfucking system. You won't believe. The craziest. Bombastic, loud, big energy. I shouldn't have said butt fuck. Sorry, I ruined my own diatribes by this disgusting language. I'm sorry. Boo me. I deserve to be booed. But you know what I'm saying. Loud, energy. We're the vote of the American people. These people are the vote of Project 2025. These people are the vote of Handmaid's Tale. Hard. 2 chickens in every pot. Kitchen table issues. Boom, 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 boom. Loud. Over and over and over again. Big energy. That's what we need from Kamala, and that's what we're going to need from her VP as well. Anything less is an abject failure. Anything less is going to be an abject failure, right? If this Kamala situation immediately falls into the same kind of neoliberal campaigning status quo, and they immediately start responding to the bullshit from the right wing, right? They start being pulled by the nose around by the Trump campaign, responding to them, following up with them instead of driving their own narrative. It's over. It's over. If Kamala and Pete or whoever the VP is, if want to do this correct, they need to drive the narrative. They need to be big policies, big proposals, and my God, there shouldn't be a minute that one of these two people isn't on TV. There shouldn't be a single second that goes by that one or two of those, the VP or the president, isn't on TV. I'm exaggerating only a little bit. Blitzkrieg, big energy, loud, no more corn pop whispering, no more incoherent babbling, no more I don't know what's really going on. Real leadership, big promises. Anything less is an abject failure, and we're getting Trump. So yeah, we'll see. He's out, man. He's gone. He's fucking gone, dude. Lame duck. I don't know. I'm not going to say thank God yet. I don't know. This is a great opportunity for a big tonal shift, to really pull this out of the gutter. This is an opportunity to do this. This is also an opportunity to fall flat on your face. And let me tell you something. Nobody does it better than the neoliberal party establishment, than the DNC, falling flat on their face. Nobody does it better. I'm telling you. These people know how to remove victory from the defeat from the claws of victory, or however the fuck you say it. I knew I was going to fuck it up when I was going about to say it. I knew it. God, I suck. I do wonder. Victory from the jaws of defeat. No, defeat from the jaws of victory. I had it right the first time. God damn. I do wonder who Biden stepped down as. Biden was very stubborn until now. It was everybody. It was Obama. It was Pelosi. It was all the donors. It was literally everybody. It was, Chuck Schumer. It was Adam. It was Adam Schiff. It was all of them. It was all of them. Because Jill and Joe Biden were like, no. Jill and Joe Biden were hard nose. And everyone, the entire Democratic Party establishment, all the rich guys said, yeah, we're cutting off the tap. We're not going to fund you. You have to drop. You have to do it. So everyone told him to do it. Biden's going to be a lame duck. He's going to continue to be a feckless, weak leader. He's going to continue to do jack shit. Really, what he should do is a lame duck. He should do something big, right? Go after the Supreme Court, Joe. Right? Do something big, baby. Right? Make your legacy something we actually will remember. But he's not, because he's Joe Biden. Status quo Joe. Status quo Joe. till the very end. And him and Barack Obama, they believe that's, people want that. They believe people are going to praise them. Oh, they were so consistent, so, you know, so dependable. No, man, we needed big change. We needed big transformative change, and you gave us status quo Joe. Uh-oh, we got bigoted jokes. Oh, Obama's husband. Yeah, no, that's so funny. Yeah, wow. Wow, jokes about Michelle Obama being a man. Wow, so fucking funny. Guys, so hilarious. We got a fucking comedian, man. Oh, did you hear the one about Michelle Obama being a man? So fucking funny. Stop embarrassing yourself. Woke Patriots 100% correct. What are you gonna? Oh, trans people. Oh, what are they next? Gonna be helicopter? They're gonna be car? Gonna be a helicopter car? Yeah, I'm laughing too. I laugh every time I click this fucking button. Nothing makes me happier. Enjoy a 10-minute break. We're ending the stream anyway, folks. So there you go. Let's not forget. It's never been more important. It's never been more fucking important. The 3-step program to create political change, folks. Political activism has never been more important than right now. Step 1, inform yourself. And guess what? You're here. You did it. Step fucking 1, baby. Boom. Boom. You did it. Step 1 complete. Step 2, I need you to put your name down. Google an organization. Google a democratic, progressive organization, activist organization. Type that shit into Google. You know how to use the goddamn Googles. Okay, you programmed daddy's cell phone. Now you know how to do the Googles. Okay, because step 3, and this is no joke, I need you to put in the work. I need you to put in the work like Charlie Kirk. I need you to work just as hard as the fascists are working. If we're not working as hard as the fascists, we've already lost. We need to work hard to push Kamala in the right direction. The left, the progressive left, knows what people want. Anytime you poll people, what do they want? Progressive policies. Anytime there's an objective poll, oh, do you want single-payer health care? What, you want free education? You want retirement? You want to be treated with respect in your old age? Yes, 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 yes. Guess what? Those are all socialist policies. No! Ah, Mao! Ah, Mao! Ah! That's our struggle. That's our fight on the left. But that's the fight that we have to fight. But folks, I'm Abandoned Nihilism. This has been the News Underground. Big fucking news. Big breaking news. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East and glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Somehow we're going to get this kook and swoop in this motherfucker. Thank you, everybody. Take care of yourself. Kamala, get in front of a camera. Kamala, what are you waiting on? Kamala, let's go. Kamala, get in front of a camera. Kamala, let's go. Kamala, let's go. Woke Patriot, big props. Everyone in the chat, lurkers in the chat, every single motherfucking one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat. Big props. Thank you for being here. Woke Patriot, Davey, M-Gun, Borderline Female. He did it. He did it. I still actually can't believe he did it. Kamala. Thinking I'm a baller. Kamala. Making fun of Kamala. Feeling like a baller. I don't know. Have fun, everybody. I'm going to go see Twister. I'm going to go see the new movie, new blockbuster hit Twister. I'll tell you how it is next time we stream. Thank you, everybody. Blockbuster hit Twister. R.I.P. Bill Paxton. R.I.P. to a real one. Bill Paxton, this motherfucker. Thank you, everybody. Switch my whole body with my flying to the street. Fuck around the dog, put my name out the street. Run into the bank, track me. Bricks in the truck, won't run a beat.